April 30th, and it is the afternoon, although I do have very confused kids. Back to here. The idea, well, I guess the trivia question might not be so much for this class, but I'll still go through and talk about it here in a moment. Outsiders quiz, all of those things have been updated to Skyward, and then again, day of service is during period 7. And then again, those of you who got confused with iPads that showed up on desks, that's why I had to keep charging kids points, because, you know, learning is special kids. He's probably aware. Rard, there we go. So this afternoon schedule is slightly different. Order of classes is the same. Length of classes is slightly shorter. So they have pulled off a few minutes from each class so that period 7 is longer, so that you have an extra 15 minutes in period 7 as far as signing up for your day of service. So just keeping that in mind to help you out from there. This class is the same length because, yay, but your other classes will be shorter once you get. Except for period 7, you get to go back to a long period. I feel the same way. Unless any kids in my 7th period are watching this, in that case.
You're bad. Yeah,
I'll.
Brovicast.
Do you, so, my other classes that are doing the trivia game, do you want to see the questions, or is that just taunting? Alright. So, they have the chance, you guys technically have the chance to submit, but these are some of the questions I'm putting on the trivia thing. So, the Brovicast is a thing that a kid saw on, like, around my room. There's references over there and here and back there to this thing called a Brovicast, and so it's going to be one of the things that's going to pop up.
Wait, what's Brovicast?
The first car I bought with teacher money, not the car I had as a kid, but when I got to roll around that fat teacher cash, I bought a car. The first big story for my first year of teaching, kids are going to try to figure out what that would be. How old were you the first time you got arrested? The first student gift you still have up on your wall. And what Camp T skit did you do before I was fairy? And so things like that will be popping up as the different questiony things. So they'll be competing with each other to see who can answer the most correct and then get prizes. I hear you're wondering why he's still on his iPad too? I don't know, just some kids have too many B points, I guess. I'm trying to get rid of a thing. You can't, that's why you walk by, you're not on the camera.
Me?
No, the other Drake that's on their
I'm on
iPad.
the camera, do I get to sit? I wasn't even using it.
And that was a silly way to lose points. Hi Eli, what's up?
Can I put my water?
Sure, points or pass.
Points.
Alright. And then TJ, wait, wrong kid. TJ, you're fine. You're at 12 points, just so you know, unless you're making poor choices now. And that was Eli there. Hi, Emma.
You were arrested?
No, that's just a lie.
Oh, it's a
No,
new
he's
one.
gonna tell us at the end of the year why he
And
was
that kid. What? I would never tell stories about that. That's
I
just
was
silly and wrong.
arrested for jaywalking.
No,
My
never.
my brother, I asked my
Why
brother,
the
he said he's not gonna tell me.
Well, I'll tell you on Friday. Oh wait, this class doesn't get to do it.
Bro.
Don't you bro me, sis.
Yay.
I'm
Then
not even gonna be here on Friday.
also, if you are one of the kids who did get the perfect score, you will have the chance to submit a question if you want. I will tell you the answer to your question if you submit it, even if this class doesn't get the chance to participate. I will print this off and just put it up in my room in case you want to scan it and add a question, but you'll have to tomorrow. Hi, Ayer.
When you say perfect score, do you mean perfect?
As in 27 out of 27. Yeah, perfect score on the first attempt. Or second attempt. I would do either one of
A
those.
certain score.
So, if you got a perfect score on that one. Yeah. No? Yeah. So, here's what we have with you guys. I'm trying to figure out, time-wise, how to best help you guys out. Quiz on Monday over end of chapter 8. I have no problem Monday talking about the chapters to go over things like I did this past Monday. But that means we roughly have a half period today, tomorrow a full class period, and then Friday full class period. And that only gives us not a whole lot of time to get through like 3.5 chapters. So that's where I'm trying to figure out the best balance. As far as chapter 5 goes, when they're in the church, did anyone in here finish chapter 5?
I
You
finished the whole
didn't
book.
told us to.
I know, that's what I was checking. So I'm making sure I'm reading chapter 5 with you guys here in a moment. So that's what I was checking. Okay. So I will read as much chapter 5 as I can get through with you guys here in a moment. And then my guess is we'll do chapter 6 tomorrow, and then we'll have to sort of figure out how you guys want to do that next day. it'll be by class period. So yours does not have to match other classes as far as how you guys want me to help teach you guys. So I'm trying to differentiate for the class to help you, because Monday, if you do well on quiz, I will be making you a button of your own choice and design. Whatever picture you want on there, I will be making that button.
Any picture.
Any school appropriate, any school
Any
appropriate picture.
Any picture.
So LeBron
I'm getting
kissing
my
me.
cousin on it.
Again, if you make the picture, yes.
He'll print
I
it.
don't have a picture of LeBron kissing you. I went through all of my pictures, and surprisingly, it wasn't one of the ones I had. So
You have
you would
a
have to
picture
send
of
that to
us?
me.
It's on the low.
That's fine. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's really, really low. Hi, Nooch.
Slow.
Yes. You're gonna email it to me.
I'm gonna do the one where.
Email.
That's now, the first step, of course, is doing well on the quiz.
Oh, no, I'll do
What?
great on the quiz.
Then you're good to go. Hi, Serenity.
You have to get a perfect score to get the button.
That's what we're looking for.
I'm gonna get a button.
Wouldn't that be obvious?
I did a picture
Let's see, we
of
got
me
through
and my cousin.
church.
That's my background. 'Cause I
Gone
don't
with the
think-
Wind. I think we had just started talking or gotten through the
No, we
hydrogen.
got.
Hydrogen
We
peroxide.
bleached his hair, and the very cute guy was up there. The movie cute guy.
No.
Yeah, that guy. Wait, yeah, him.
Oh, he's so cute.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Oh.
It's Brad Pitt. I mean,
Chap need wire.
Who doesn't like Brad Pitt?
I mean,
I'm gonna see him in the F1. The guy on the left is
you
cute,
can't
though.
call him a liar.
He
I
looks
mean,
worse
They're the
on
same
right.
guy.
He
Yeah,
looks
fella.
worse on the right.
I mean, he's no Ryan Reynolds, but he's up there.
He looks cute on
Ryan Reynolds.
That's not
Bunch of haters. Home children who are confused by the cute guy. They're not talking about me. I understand your confusion.
Yeah, we
They're
are.
talking.
You really think that it's Ryan
by the one up.
Reynolds?
Ryan
I don't
Reynolds
think it
cute.
is. I like Ryan Reynolds.
Have
Man
you seen
crush.
him when he was buff in that one
Oh,
movie?
yeah.
That one movie where he's but there's so many.
The guy,
Guy.
something like that.
Oh,
Free
that
guy.
one?
If you keep watching, you're gonna watch a grown man have a stroke in just a moment.
That's how we felt when we saw you in the...
We are now on page 71. Welcome, Miss White, back to period 4. Nothing like
That
making
one
us
was funny.
miss period 6. So we're on page 71 where we just went through talking about, not this one, we're gonna go, we'll go back to the brown bottle.
Hydrogen peroxide
drink ever.
hurts.
Yeah, you shouldn't drink it.
It bubbles your
I
skin.
do
You
all
should
the
definitely
time.
drink it. It don't taste good.
No, I agree. Some of you should drink it, like 3 or 4 bottles.
What if
Yeah, I
you
do.
drink it?
Yeah,
I drink it all
It
the
doesn't
I'm
tell you,
telling
it's
you,
supposed to
Mr.
drink
Webby
it.
said that.
It has great hydrogen.
I'm gonna tell Miss.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
What?
I told you I read it. I read some of it.
Page
I didn't know
71.
he could read.
Oh, oh no! My hand flew to my hair. No, Johnny, not my hair. It was my pride. It was long and silky, just like sodas, only a little redder. Our hair was tough. I mean, we didn't have to use much grease on it. Our hair labeled us greasers, too. It was our trademark. The one thing we were proud of. Maybe we couldn't have cord hairs or Madra shirts, but we could have hair. We'd have to anyway if we got caught. You know the first thing the judge does is make you get a haircut. I don't see why. Dally could just as easily mug somebody with short hair. I don't know why. It's just a way of trying to break us. They can't really do anything to guys like Curly Shepherd or Tim. They've had about everything done to them. And they can't take anything away from them because they don't have anything in the first place. So they cut their hair. I looked at Johnny imploringly. Johnny sighed. I'm gonna cut mine too and wash the grease out. But I can't bleach it. I'm too dark skinned to look okay blonde. Oh, come on, pony boy, I'll grow back.
Oh, it's because he's Daniel Lewis.
And so this is where we find out that Johnny has dark skin where he's more either, later on he says either Native American or like Hispanic Mexican. So he can't go blonde because it would not blend in if you have dark Hispanic skin and blonde hair, you tend to stand out. But luckily, Pony Boy is a lily white boy. So he's like, you can bleach your hair and be fine. But they're both gonna cut their hair. Oh, what are they using to cut their hair?
From Hawaii.
A knife.
Which knife?
Switchblade.
Whose switchblade?
Johnny.
When was the last time he used that switchblade?
Obama.
Yeah, try not to let that disturb you.
And then he walks it out.
That's
and
too
goes,
much
"I'm gonna
deep."
have-"
So awful.
And then he stabs you.
It'll grow back. Okay, I said wide-eyed. Get it over with. Johnny flipped out the razor edge of his switch, took hold of my hair, and started sawing on it. I shuddered.
Oh, they just got
Not
buzzes.
too short, Johnny, please. Finally, it was over with. My hair looked funny, scattered over the floor in tufts. It was lighter than I thought it was. Can I see what I look like now? No, Johnny said slowly, staring at me. We gotta bleach it first. After I'd sat in the sun for 15 minutes to dry the bleach, Johnny let me look in the old cracked mirror we'd found in the closet. I did a double take. My hair was even lighter than soda pops. I'd never combed it to the side like that. It just didn't look like me. It made me look younger and scareder too. Boy, howdy, I thought. This really makes me look tough. I look like a blasted pansy. I was miserable. Johnny handed me the knife. He looked scared too. Cut the front, thin out the rest, and I'll comb it back after I wash it. Johnny, you can't wash your hair in that freezing water in this weather. You'll get a cold. He only shrugged. Go ahead and cut it. I did the best I could. He went ahead and washed it anyway, using the bar of soap he'd bought. I was glad I had to run away with him instead of Two-Bit or Steve or Dally. That'd be one thing they'd never think of. Soap. I gave him Dally's jacket to wrap up in. He sat shivering in the sunlight on the back steps, leaning against the door, combing his hair back. It was the first time I could see that he had eyebrows. He didn't look like Johnny. His forehead was wider where his bangs had been. It would have been funny if we hadn't been so scared. He was still shivering, cold. I guess we're disguised. I leaned back next to him sullenly. I guess so. Oh, shoot, Johnny said with fake cheerfulness. It's just hair. Shoot, nothing. It took me a long time to get that hair just the way I wanted it. And besides, this just ain't us. It's like being in a Halloween costume that we can't get out of. Well, we gotta get used to it, Johnny said with finality. We're in big trouble, and it's our looks or us. I started eating a candy bar. I'm still tired. To my surprise, the ground blurred, and I felt tears running down my cheeks. I brushed them off hurriedly. Johnny looked as miserable as I felt. I'm sorry I cut your hair off, Pony Boy. No, it ain't that, I said between bites of chocolate. I mean, not all of it. I'm just a little spooky. I really don't know what's the matter. I'm just mixed up. I know, Johnny said through chattering teeth as we went inside. Things have been happening so fast. I put my arm across his shoulders to warm him up. Two-Bit should have been in that little one-horse store. Man, we are in the middle of nowhere. The nearest house is 2 miles away. Things were just laying out wide open, just waiting for somebody slick like Two-Bit to come and pick him up. He could have walked out with half the store. He would be back beside me. I could feel him trembling. Good old Two-Bit, he said with a quavering voice. He must have been as homesick as I was. Remember how we was wisecracking last night? No, last night. Just last night. We were walking Cherry and Marcia over to Two-Bit's. Just last night. We were laying in the light, looking up at the stars, dreaming. Stop it! Johnny gasped between clenched teeth. Shut up about last night! I killed a kid last night. He couldn't have been over 17 or 18, and I killed him. How would you like to live with that? He was crying. I held him like Soda held him the day we found him lying in the lot. I didn't mean to, but they were drowning you, and I was so scared. He was quiet for a minute. There sure is a lot of blood in people. He got up suddenly and began pacing back and forth, slapping his pockets. Well, okay, what are we going to do? I was crying by then. It was getting dark, and I was cold and lonesome. I closed my eyes and leaned my head back, but the tears came anyway. This is my fault, Johnny said in a miserable voice. He'd stopped crying when I started. Bringing a little 13-year-old kid along. You ought to go home. You can't get in any trouble. You didn't kill him. No! I'm 14! I've been 14 for a month, and I'm in it as much as you are. I'll stop crying in a minute. I just I can't help it. He slumped down beside me. I didn't mean it like that, Pony boy. Don't cry, Pony. I mean, we'll be okay. Don't cry. I leaned against him and bawled until I went to sleep. I woke up late that night. Johnny was resting against the wall. I was asleep on his shoulder. Johnny, you awake? I was warm and sleepy. Yeah. We ain't gonna cry no more, are we? Nah. We're all cried out now. We're getting used to the idea. We're gonna be okay now. Yeah, that's what I thought, I said drowsily. Then, for the first time since Dally and I sat down behind those girls at the nightly double, I relaxed. We could take whatever was coming now. The next 4 or 5 days were the longest days I've ever spent in my life. We killed time by reading Gone with the Wind and playing poker. Johnny sure did like that book, although he didn't know anything about the Civil War, and even less about plantations. And I had explained a lot of it to him. It amazed me how Johnny could get more meaning out of some of the stuff in there than I could. I was supposed to be the deep one. Johnny had failed a year in school. He never made good grades. He couldn't grasp anything that was shoved at him too fast, and I guess his teachers thought he was just plain dumb. But he wasn't. He was just a little slow to get things, and he liked to explore things once he did get them. He was especially stuck on the Southern gentlemen, impressed with their manners and charm. Oh, I bet they were cool old guys, he said, his eyes glowing, after I'd read the part about them riding into sure death because they were gallant. Oh, they remind me of Dally. Dally? I said, startled. Shoot, he ain't got any more manners than I do. And you saw how he treated those girls the other night. Soda's more like them Southern boys. Yeah, like in the manners bit, and the charm too, I guess, Johnny said slowly. But, okay, one night, I saw Dally getting picked up by the fuzz, and he kept real cool and calm the whole time. They was getting him for breaking out the windows in the school building, and it was Two-Bit who did it. Dally knew it, but he just took the sentence without batting an eye or even denying it. That's gallant. That was the first time I realized the extent of Johnny's hero worship for Dally Winston. Of all of us, Dally was the one I liked least. He didn't have Soda's understanding, or Dash, or Two-Bit's humor, or even Derry's Superman qualities. But I realized that these three appealed to me because they were like the heroes in the novels I read. Dally was real. I liked my books and clouds and sunsets. Dally was so real, he scared me. Johnny and I never went to the front of the church. You could see the front from the road, and sometimes farm kids rode their horses by on their way to the store. So we stayed in the very back, usually sitting on the steps and looking across the valley. We could see for miles, see the ribbon of highway and the small dots that were houses and cars. We couldn't watch the sunset since the back faced east, but I loved to look at the colors of the fields and the soft shadings of the horizon. One morning, I woke up earlier than usual. Johnny and I slept huddled together for warmth. Dally had been right when he said it would get cold where we were going. Being careful not to wake Johnny up, I went to sit on the steps and smoke a cigarette. The dawn was coming then. All the lower valley was covered with mist. Sometimes little pieces of it broke off and floated away in small clouds. The sky was lighter in the east, and the horizon was a thin golden line. The clouds changed from gray to pink, and the mist was touched with gold. There was a silent moment when everything held its breath, and then the sun rose. It was beautiful. In case those of you that have never seen a sunrise after watching How We Did Not Wake Up Early at Camp, I figured I'd show you a picture of a sunrise to help you out.
It was still light.
Golly, Johnny's voice beside me made me jump. That sure was pretty. Yeah, I sighed, wishing I had some paint to do a picture with while the sight was still fresh in my mind. The mist was what was pretty, all gold and silver. I said, trying to blow out a smoke ring. Too bad it couldn't stay like that all the time. Well, nothing gold can stay. I was remembering a poem I'd read once. What? Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold. Her early leaves a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief. Dawn goes down to day, nothing gold can stay. Johnny was staring at me. Where'd you learn that? Like, that's what I meant. Robert Frost wrote it. He meant more to it than I'm getting, though. I was trying to find the meaning the poet had in mind, but it eluded me. I always remembered it because I never quite got what he meant by it. I'm going to pause there for a second with this poem. It ends up playing a really big role in the book. So, with it, there's a meme that gets connected to this book where it says, "Stay gold, pony boy." And it comes from this poem and a scene that happens later in the book connected to it. And so with it, it's a very uplifting poem and a very depressing poem at the same time. Where it says, nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold, early leaves a flower, but only so an hour. Leaf subsides to leaf, Eden sank to grief, dawn goes down to day, nothing gold can stay. Eden is not a person. You know, it's
The garden.
Garden of Eden. That thing with Adam and Eve and the snake and stuff like that. The whole idea of the poem is that things start off beautiful and perfect. You start off with spring flowers. You start off with the idea of Eden in the Bible. You start off with the fact that dawn is beautiful. The whole poem is that everything starts off beautiful. Kids start off young and happy. The day starts off good. But everything eventually dies. Everything eventually disappears and goes away. So the idea is everything you love, everything you care about is going to eventually disappear and be gone. That's the depressing part. But what he was aiming for was, if you realize that the things you like will someday disappear, cherish them while you have them. Don't take them for granted. The idea of nothing gold can stay. Gold is your innocence, your happiness, the things that can make life good. It's always going to eventually disappear. Nothing that is perfectly good sticks around. So for you guys, I know you want to be older kids, but the idea that right now you don't have to pay attention to politics, that's your goal that you get to hold on to. The fact that you don't have to pay taxes and have a job, that's the thing you get to hold on to. The fact that you don't get to be an old grumpy person that hates kids, that's the thing you get to hold on to.
If you don't have a job, do you still have to pay
That
taxes?
same idea is if you have, like, say, friends that you have right now, enjoy being with them. If you have teachers that you enjoy being with them, and hold on to it. So the idea is, don't just take advantage of the things that are in your life. In this book, as it keeps going, the idea is that the greasers have very little gold. There's not much in their life to make them happy. So whenever you find that little golden thing that brings you joy, hold on to it. And don't just get rid of that thing. TJ?
What if I have a job, I just don't pay my taxes?
Well, then eventually you're going to have this thing called jail.
Then you have
That's
to
how
go to
stuff
federal
works out.
prison.
What if the IRS don't catch me though?
Well, that's just like robbing a bank. We're going to stop there. So your homework for tonight is to finish chapter 5, and we're going to start chapter 6 tomorrow. It is all of like 7 pages left. And one of the characters from the beginning of the book shows up while they're at the church.
It is.
Dally.
So we are on page 78, in case you weren't writing it down. And tomorrow we're going to start chapter 6, which has both my favorite character in it and my favorite scene in the whole book in it. If you end up reading chapter 6, then I'll let you know when we get there.
Favorite character?
My favorite character and my favorite scene.
Wait, what period?